What's up, guys, and welcome to Baby Steps, the next game in Bennett Foddy's line of terrible products. Let's play. Now, cutscenes are gonna. There's a lot of cutscenes in this game, so we're just gonna skip them to save time. This is Baby Steps. We play as a man named Nate, and he is very clumsy and stupid. Look at his dumb ass. His dumb fat ass. Look at that ass, bro. He's such a big fucking jiggly ass. Shake that ass, Nate. Hold on. Let's see him twerk it. Shake that shit. Oh yeah.
You're okay. You Jim? I'm Jim. No, I'm Jim. Yeah, no, you're Jim. Just relax.
Anyway, that guy's Jim. So this game revolves around Nate here, obviously, and the goal of the game is to learn to walk, and of course get to the top of the mountain. But yeah, this is actually a pretty relaxing Foddy game compared to his other ones, I'd say. This one's a lot easier, I'd say, than getting over it. Once you get the controls down and figure everything out. Also, there's another cutscene that's gonna play once I get to about right, like, to that brown patch. So what we're gonna do to skip that is we're just gonna climb on these rocks, right? And we're just gonna walk around the trigger. And this saves time because the less cutscenes we have to skip, the more time we save. It only takes a few seconds to skip a cutscene, but if we like just walk around the cutscene altogether, that saves us having to skip the cutscene. So that's called. I'm calling that a cutscene skip. Cutscene skipception, if you will. Now, if you're wondering why I'm heading off the beaten path here, it's because this is sort of the most optimized path. I don't know if this has been more optimized yet, but yeah, if you can do that, then do it, because it'll save time later. Now, there's actually a cutscene that plays if we go over to that area with the candle. But it is possible to skip this one too. I think it involves like going up here. Then you can do some shenanigans over here. There's a certain technique you gotta do when you're walking on slopes like this. Because if you keep moving forward when you're walking on like non-sticky slopes, you'll just like fall over, right? So yeah, anyway. The key to walking on slopes like that is just sort of tapping forward, not holding it per se, but just like tapping it. Like I like to do it at the same time I take a step. I find it to be more consistent that way. It's also recommended to start from a walkable surface, because if you don't start from a walkable surface, your foot will just sort of slide off, and then you'll not go anywhere, and you'll probably fall. But that's just the technique, you know. Tips and tricks if you want to get up those really tricky slopes that you wouldn't normally be able to get up. And of course, if it wasn't obvious enough already, if you're speedrunning the game, try not to fall, obviously. Don't walk into any trees either. I had an incident with a tree once when I was a kid. Let me just say, it was not very good for your skin. Well, I can't say the injury was with a tree in particular. I don't know if I've told this story before, but I think it happened with a rock wall instead. See, when I was a kid, and I was still in school at the time, it was a very low grade. I think it was like grade 3 or 2 or something. But anyway, I was playing tag with a few friends of mine, and I just so happened to be at that game, right? And so one of my buddies, who was very close by, I chased him for a bit, and he climbed up this rock wall. And so I do what any normal kid would do when they're it, and then chase after them. But as it turns out, young me didn't have climbing intelligence yet. So when I tried to climb the rock wall, I got about like 3/4 of the way up, I think. I was like nearing the top. The top was like right there. It was in hand's reach, right? And when I reached the top, I slipped on something. I don't know what it was, but I slipped. My foot lost its balance, and then like a cheese grater, my chest like ran all the way down the rock wall and I fell onto the ground. And that shit hurt like a bitch, man. I was taken to the nurse's office in my school after, and I had like these big long scratches all over my chest. Yeah, and the healing process for that was that was painful too. I had to get alcohol rubbed on it. Whoops. Almost fell. But yeah, anyway, I had to get alcohol rubbed on it, which that hurt like a bitch too. Yeah, pretty much after that, after like the next day I was fine. Damn, can you like function? Like, do you have a functioning brain, Nate? If you could, just please stay upright on your feet for like 10 seconds, please. Yeah, there's not really any more interesting skips for this segment. It's really just like going from point A to point B as fast as you can. As you can see, we sort of skipped the first candle. You can see it's still lit down there. And the second candle normally would be up here. Oh, well, it sort of is. The pots are sort of like symbols for checkpoints too. But if you go to them, a cutscene will play, and then you sort of gotta skip it.
I do, sorry.
And now we're at this checkpoint, which I guess you could call it a checkpoint. It's not really a checkpoint. Well, technically everywhere is a checkpoint because the game saves literally everywhere you go. But over here we have this donkey who's rocking out with his cock out, I guess. Now, of course, I have the nudity sensor turned on because whenever the situation may be, I do not want my viewers to see a donkey's genitals. I don't want my viewers to see anyone's genitals. Yeah, once you climb down from the castle, very gracefully, might I add. You can just go into this river here. Well, you could cross it with the log, but I like to just like fall in and then just climb up that way. Do not climb. That's interesting because last time I was here, I definitely remembered you could climb over the bear. I definitely remembered you could do that with no consequence whatsoever. You could totally do it in real life too. Please, kids, try this at home. It'll definitely end well. The bear will definitely not eat you alive, and he'll even give you like candy afterwards. It's like a test of like bravery almost. You climb on top of a sleeping bear, and then he gives you candy. It's like he turns into fucking guy from the Berenstain Bears. But yeah, here's another little trick I do. If you like sort of make your way up here. Okay. Can you get up now? Can you get up now? Thank you. Now, as I was saying, if you make your way, sorry, pardon my French. If you make your way up here, come on, you can do it. Just like get up. Now, as I was saying, if you make your okay. Are you gonna cooperate with me today? Clearly not. Clearly not. You're clearly not intelligent enough to follow my command. And I should have hired Mike to do this shit, because he's clearly a better climber than you. Because unlike you, Mike is intelligent enough to use his fucking hands. Genuinely, why don't you people think of this shit? Yeah, if you okay, I see how it is. I see how you want to fucking do this. I will spend however long it may take for me to prove my point, even if this loses me time in the long run. I just want to show this off. Like, I don't even have to get on top of this. I just have to get to the other side. Really, that's sort of the minimum requirement. But yeah, it's a little finicky. But you can make your way on top of here, and once you do that, you can just sort of waltz your way up to the castle over there with the candle in it. Yeah, usually when there's like a large light source, I guess you want to make your way to it, because that's a main story objective point. Okay, well, I didn't even really need to be up there. It's just, if you are up there, that's the most direct path to the castle. You can still get there without taking that specific path. It's just like, you gotta, like, finagle your way around some obstacles. Okay, can we make our way up the hill, please? Now, here we are at the front entrance of the castle. I wouldn't even really call this a castle. It's not really that big. It's more so still like a fucking TSA checkpoint. Now this part can get a little bit annoying because of the holes, and also the amount of stairs you have to climb. And also the holes. You get to see Nate's big fat ass when he falls, which is very amusing. Now we're gonna try, this skip can be a little bit finicky. We're gonna try to skip another cutscene. Originally you're supposed to go down there with all the wood and go over to where the pot is. But if you take a very specific path, uber careful not to fall, then you fall somewhere over here. You can actually skip the cutscene that's over there. So, yeah, that's another cutscene skip we just did. Now, because I'm skipping all the cutscenes, you guys are not gonna get much lore. So I'm just gonna do a quick rundown of the lore so far. Nate is transported into this world, and it's filled with anthropomorphic donkeys that are, let's just say, very well hung. Yeah, he just sort of, he either wants to pee or wants to get out. Like, either one or two of those things. And he seemingly can't do either. And when it seems like Nate can do one of those things, he gets cucked out of doing it through through either a fault of his own or just a fault of nature. Like, if you try to use that outhouse back there to pee, I think like Mike uses it instead. If you ever get tired of just using those rocks over there, just like march your way on up the mud. Don't let nature tell you what to do. Unless you're Nate, then sort of let nature take its course. Now, once you're here, this spot is a very important landmark, because this is a part where we're going to do a potentially very big skip. And with that, with that in mind, I'm going to officially welcome you to Concealed's Space Program. That's right. This is Concealed's official space program guide on how to launch your Fat Man. Okay? Now the first step you gotta do, there's sort of a preference to this. You can do it both ways, but I like to have my Fat Man laying on his back. Now you're gonna want to swim towards this crevice here. And what you're gonna try to do is you're gonna try to get him to swim underwater like this. Now once you're underwater, you can sort of like he can get stuck a little sometimes, but like if you just like play with it a little, he'll like sort of get out of it. The steering's a little janky too, but like if you do it for a while, you'd get used to it. Now you're gonna swim into that underwater out of bounds crevice there. You're gonna get your Fat Man wedged into this crack. Okay? Wedging your Fat Man into the crack. I know, it sounds sexual, but trust me. Let me cook. Alright. Now what we're gonna wanna do, we're gonna wanna look around and find the spot where the water deloads. And then we let him fall for a few seconds, and then you swim up and to the right. Okay? You're going to want to approach this wall at an angle. And then we launch. Okay, we missed the water. I'd be interested to see where we end up, though. Okay. Yeah. So, because we did that, now optimally what would have happened there is we would have made it to the second water zone, sort of where you swim more forward, right? And you'd get that second opportunity to launch yourself even farther. And once you do that, optimally, you would end up somewhere right here, okay? Right near the entrance of this giant cavern. And you'd be like past the red bucket optimally. Now, if you get a better launch than that, you can sometimes even skip this entire cavern section entirely. But it seems luck is not on my side today. So we are going to have to go through this entire cave section, I guess. And this cave section isn't so bad. It's really simple to do. And eventually you'll get a lantern, and then you can sort of make your way to the giant party they're having in this cavern. Which I don't know why they'd have a party in this place of all places. But I mean, I don't know, just like who cares, right? Now, hopefully, you're good with the escalator, which just so happens to be going in the opposite direction that you are. Because if you're not, then you may lose a lot of time. But my tip, try not to like overstep yourself. In other words,
Mommy, pack you a little lantern. Mommy, pack you a lantern. Oh, he was scared of the dark. Oh,
yeah, just ignore those guys. We don't like bullies in this game. Bullies are meanies, and they don't know how to speedrun like I do. So yeah, these donkeys are all naked, and they are all male. So that's why the boxes are so big. But anyway, let's just carry on. Now we're gonna go up to this statue, and we're gonna make a wish. And we were told to wish for 500 cigarettes, but instead we're gonna wish to die, which sort of makes sense. Oh, you sort of gotta like keep your loading bar in the gauge, and then you wait for them to connect. Bada bing, bada boom. Then you skip the cutscene. See, I don't usually skip this many cutscenes in a run. I haven't seen all of the cutscene skip mini games. But yeah, once you're done with the party, you learn that Nate is actually for real dead, and this is the afterlife. Yeah, now we're just sort of wandering with no purpose, no job, no task, no money, no bitches, no will to live, and most importantly of all, no sunlight. Getting in here was easy, right? You just sort of like walk in. But getting out of here, at least the intended way, is a whole nother story entirely. Climbing out of this place is annoying because this entire temple is made out of sand, and you can't really tell which surface is walkable and which surface is not. But okay, he got up? No fucking way. I've never seen him get up from that spot. Whenever I fall into this little crack right here, he always falls and tumbles all the way down to the bottom. And an even more annoying part, if you fall even just slightly, there's a chance that Nate will just drop his lantern, and you have to go like even if you don't fall all the way down, and the lantern falls all the way down, it won't respawn back up with you. You have to go all the way back down and get it. Okay, yep. See what I mean? See what just happened? Yeah, just be careful when you're picking up the lantern. If you don't fall all the way down. But yeah, the least you can fall to is back here with this ramp. It's not really that devastating of a fall, but once like it happens a lot, it's gonna wear down your patience like real fast. But yeah, my tip for this section: be super careful where you put your feet. Don't put your feet on anything that's too steep, or at least try not to. If you do, try to like stay upright. Essentially, just don't fall. That's what I'm saying. Just don't fall at all. I know it sounds like a hard ask, especially when it comes to this fucking piece of shit. I can't give any more elaborate advice than that. You can sort of make your way here into this little area. Then you can just sort of climb your way up here, and once you make it into here, I'd say you're good. Yeah, it's not that hard once you're here. Just like don't do any stupid maneuvers or something. Also, there's two annoying parts. That was the first one. With the first one, I call the staircase. I'll call it the staircase, cause that was like normal stuff, right? That's how staircases normally go. Now this is the spiral staircase, which is going to be a lot taller with a lot more chances to fall, especially near the top, because the staircase just seems to get longer and longer, no end in sight. And sometimes there's little like shit obstacles to get like you pissed off, like little tiny holes or just like some like collapsed parts of the staircase. This hole in particular is a real bastard. You gotta like just like step over it. If you somehow manage to make it in here, like in this little hole, you can try to like sort of stutter walk your way up here. But like yes, that just like it doesn't really work that well. What I do like about this part though is if you fall and the lantern doesn't fall with you, like the lantern stays up, the lantern just sort of gets shoved down to where you are. Which I don't really know how they do that, but that's a very good mechanic. I am grateful that they have that at least. Okay, Nate. I also really hate parts where you just go in a circle. Because if you go in a circle a lot, you're gonna move your mouse a lot. And I just like, I don't like doing that. In this game, I want to go straight forward. My fingers are already doing enough work by walking. Look at this shithole right here. Look at this divot. And look at this piece of sin right here. Look at that. That's so evil. That's so evil, Bennett. Why would you put this in here? Especially when it's so high up. Oh yeah, and this part is especially evil because the ceiling sort of caves inwards, giving you less room. Yeah, just like take it slow. Take it super slow, and you should make it into here. And that's basically all of the temple area. Man, I got through that area a lot faster than I hoped. Now you're gonna have a little flashback where you're in your back in your like house. I assume this is the upstairs of your house because this doesn't look like the basement from the game.
Nick, it's your mom.
Yeah, you can save a little bit of time by just walking over the couch, I find.
Sounds like Daddy's home. Nate, come on in here. Kyle has something to show you.
Now, who the fuck is Kyle? Is that my son? Do I have a kid?
Daddy, I cut my finger. Can you get me a Band-Aid?
He sounds very feminine for a son. That is fine. That is just fine with me. Now, once we get here, we can just sort of wander on into this cutscene. And after we spend a night at the campfire, we end up here at the art exhibit. Now, sometimes if you do it right, you can just sort of walk over the barrier. You know, I walk over barriers all the time. I just like walking over things in general. Especially the 500-kilometer restraining order my wife filed on me 10 years ago. Man, I just want to see the kids again. You see that big old green thin pillar? That's sort of our goal, right? Because obviously we want to get to the top. As is the theme with Fadian Games. Actual art. Wished for by Colin, sculpted by Vigil. Yeah, that seems like actual art, all right. Now, if it were me, if I were a parent, I probably wouldn't have my baby sitting like that, because I'd imagine that would harm the baby. Well, actually, I don't think it would, because You know how some babies have like a soft spot in their heads, and like I see videos of people on the internet just sort of pressing it down into their head. I wonder if that's what that baby's balancing on. Does pressing in a baby's soft spot actually harm the baby? That's like a question I just came up with just now. I imagine it doesn't, but like if anyone just so happens to like be watching this video and also be a doctor of some kind, could you confirm that down in the comments below? Thank you very much. Now I'm starting to wonder if my parents ever pressed in my soft spot when I was a kid. Oh hey, that's the wheel section. We're gonna be over there later, I think. If Nate can just cooperate with me for 2 seconds. Now obviously we need to get over here. But in the way is this giant chasm. The fastest way to cross, I'd say, is using the mine shaft that's over there. Now the plan is, hopefully what I can get to happen, is I can go to the top of the mine shaft, and I can fall into the mine cart that's laying on those tracks there. And if I do it right, hopefully it should save me some time from just leaping into the water, then swimming all the way there. I think this is a good spot to do. Yeah, this should be a good spot. I might just go like a little bit over here, just to get that little bit closer. Anyways, here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're falling. Okay, well that didn't work, but it is something you can do. But like swimming in the creek is sort of fun though. You get to move like pretty fast. You get to swim under stuff, right? Oh, see, look at this giant log. Hold on, I'm gonna swim under it. Hold on. Let's go. Let's go. Under. Oh. Oh shit. I'm okay. I took a little bit of brain damage there, but that's fine because Nate doesn't really have a brain. Well, he does. I am his brain, which is still pretty lacking of a brain, but a brain nonetheless. But yeah, in case you haven't figured it out already, this map actually loops in on itself endlessly. So you can... Essentially what I did was I fell from that spot, and the current sort of pushed me all the way over there, and then I looped back and ended up here. Which is very, very clever map design. I'll give it to them for that. Especially on such a map that's so large. I always can't help but wonder how they do some things in this game. Yeah, this is the intended way you're supposed to do it. You're just supposed to like climb up the stairs and sort of make your way to the top. Now this part's a little anxiety-inducing because this slope is very steep. Okay. Yeah, if you don't like very quickly make your way onto this flat surface, your feet will just sort of slide off. Now notice we've made it to this point, but we can't really cross from here, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna... Ooh. Okay, that was pretty close, but it's fine. It's fine. We're just gonna make our way over here. Now, the safer strat for doing sort of making your way to this point would be to just go over there and fall onto that big wooden platform. But if you want to, you can do what I do. Of course, a major risk being falling into the creek and having to swim the fucking loop all the way back. Probably the most nerve-wracking part of this section. Just gotta balance on here. Now what you gotta do is you gotta step all the way over to here, which we didn't, and that's good. Meander your way around this minecart carefully, patiently. You gotta have... Well, see, you gotta have patience. I almost fell into this hole. That could have ruined my whole day. If I fell into that tiny hole and had to do this section again, I would have restarted my take. See, that's how careful you gotta be. You gotta like look at where you're stepping, and then step there. I sound like fucking Will Smith on that shitty song that he made. I bit off more than I could chew, and then I chewed it. Now, once you make your way to Moose here, you're sort of done with this section. You get to watch another cutscene. Oh shit, this one's really creative. You sort of like swing it back and forth like a vine. Oh, that's a shot of him pissing. I'll also mention a bit more about the out of bounds swimming part that I just forgot to mention until now. The water loading in and deloading all depends on where your camera is placed. So back there when I sort of looked down, all the water deloaded, and then when I looked up, it loaded back in. You sort of want the water in that part to be deloaded for a few seconds, just so Nate can fall down. And then when Nate falls to like a reasonable level, like for about 2 to 3 seconds, then you load the water back in. But yeah, once you get down to that reasonable level where Nate is just sort of swimming under the world, then you just sort of want to keep the water there, because if you deload the water again, you're not going to get launched at the level that you want to. And also those like walls of water where you launch out of, optimally you want to swim towards them at an angle. Now I haven't really done that much research into that part. I find that you get launched more consistently if you swim in towards them at an angle rather than straight. It's also like very random. Like when I was doing practice for this game, one run I like just launched and got nowhere at all, and then on another run I launched all the way to fucking the art exhibit back there. Hell, even the world record, which is 14 minutes by the way, launches all the way to the cabin at the end of the game. Again, but then again, I think that launch requires like some setup. At least I think. I just figured I'd mention all these points because there's no real guide to this stuff yet. So nobody's made a guide to the out of bounds swimming thing, and I figured I'd sort of contribute to that. I figured I'd tell people at least how to do that. That's just like the very basics though. I don't know if I covered every point, but the out of bounds swimming, I think people should know. If anything, this video is a call to action for those lazy speedrunners on speedrun.com that don't make guides for shit. People want to know how to do these glitches. Like these glitches are cool. They shouldn't be gatekept for yourself, right? Like there's an epidemic going on where people are just gatekeeping glitches in tech in various video games. I hear like people are gatekeeping like speed glitches in like the newest skate game, for example. Also, we're losing a lot of time. Just like falling. We're not gonna be standing up anytime soon. Well, we are. I don't know how we're standing up, but like we are. I don't know how we got here. I've noticed that people like do glitches in video games, and they don't tell people how to do them, which I find is unnecessarily cruel, because that's the sort of thing I'm passionate about. Yeah, once you get past the water wheel, you can just sort of finagle your way up onto this part, and sometimes when you're climbing onto the ledges, you gotta sort of like feel around with your foot and sort of like get your foot to scoop itself up onto the thing. But can we just take a second and just admire how far we've come since this point? I mean, just like admire the view. Like over there was where we were just over there. That was the art exhibit. I'm gonna go get the hard hat. I know this is a speed run, but I just want to make people nervous. I just want to build suspense. I'm doing this purely for the love of the game. Now the scariest part about getting the hard hat is turning around to go back. See, getting the hard hat is actually sort of a time loss, but it's a real flex if you actually finish a segment of the game with a hat on. You can get multiple hats in this game. If you finish a segment with a hat on, you can sort of do like a little mini game, which I think it is supposed to tell you the story of sort of Nate's lore. But yeah. Anyway. This is the 250-story staircase. Which we are going to spend probably the next 10 minutes climbing, and we're probably going to spend even longer in this cutscene. But yeah, these guys are gonna argue about the staircase, but legally I do have the right to climb on a staircase because I'm a free man that does what he wants, and nobody can stop me. There is no law against me climbing up that staircase, and he's gonna make a bet with us that we can't climb the cliff way, which is like it's called the Man Breaker. I haven't really gotten around to climbing it yet. It's a lot harder than the staircase. I'll say. I put a few attempts into it. Well, like not a few, just one. I only put one attempt into it, and it definitely seems harder than the staircase. And it does in fact go all the way up to. I checked. There's a special cutscene that plays when you do it. Now, I would try and do it in a normal day. This just so happens to be the faster way to climb the mountain. And also, there is no achievement on Steam for you doing the Man Breaker, so personally, I don't really see the point. You know, it would be really funny. Imagine if I made it all the way to the top of this giant staircase that I've spent like at least 5 minutes climbing, and I just decided, hey, I'm gonna fall all the way back to the bottom and climb it again. That would be really funny. Now, skipping cutscenes like the natural way is pretty helpful, especially when it comes to saving time. But there actually is an Easter egg where if you somehow manage to skip all 28 of the cutscenes, you get this like 28-minute long, I think it's like unskippable cutscene that you're forced to watch. It's a secret cutscene. You have to like deliberately go out of your way to watch every cutscene and then skip it. Oh god. Do not fall from here. Nate, I know you're sweating. It's literally physically obvious on you. I can see it like going down your back and into your fucking asshole. But like, do not fall, bro. No pressure though. No pressure if you fall. I can just cut it out of the recording. I will be genuinely upset at you for falling, and I'll cut it out of the recording. But like, no pressure, man. I will fucking destroy you, but no pressure. God, my fucking hand is starting to hurt from doing this shit. Nate, can you climb the stairs any faster? Is there like a ladder or something you could use instead, where I can just walk in one direction and not have to move my hand? Why? There's another exact copy of this staircase over there, and there's another one in that direction too. That's a really weird coincidence. Now, if you do the Man Breaker, you get to the top. Jim actually leaps off the mountain himself. But because I did it the speedrunner way, I've joined an elite gang called the Jiminy's Crickets. You see, I have the badge. See, I didn't choose the thug life. The thug life chose me. Now, see, because I made it with the hat, I actually have to play a little mini game. But don't worry, this won't take long. Mini games like this only last like 2 to 3 seconds. I'm actually sort of fast at this shit too. Look at this shit. Look at this speed. Also, as you progress through the game, Nate's room changes over time, and it eventually changes into a workout room. What cruel irony. Now, we can still wear the hard hat again. But once we get to the end over there, there's no minigame to play. Who's this? Steven Universe. It's Steven Universe. Giant woman from Steven Universe. You remember Steven Universe? Anybody in the comments remember that show? Remember the long fucking delays and hiatuses the Cartoon Network did? Especially with that show, I think like there was like a 6-month hiatus. At one point, yeah, this giant woman is gonna rock Nate to sleep with his little hard hat on, which looks a little bit funny. Heck, even like a little musical song plays. Man, this is just like Steven Universe. Also, if you fall back down there, she'll just pick you up and rock you to sleep again, which does waste a few seconds. But for the touch starved out there, nothing about that scene is a waste of seconds. Go, Nate. Fly like the wind. Okay, that's not flying like the wind, Nate. You gotta do it with a little bit more enthusiasm. Now, I could knock over the snowman, but I'm not going to. It's okay to not be an absolute dickhead 100% of the time. You can just go about your day and not be a dickhead. Today's lesson has concluded. Don't be a dickhead. Thank you for watching my TED Talk. Okay, now time for ice, which is it's very annoying ice. That's what I'm trying to say. Because whenever you try to walk normally, at least on ice, Nate's feet will just sort of slide out from under him, and you don't want that because if Nate's feet slide out from under him, he's gonna fall and lose all that entropy that he was gaining from the initial walking speed that he had. And that's going to transfer onto the ice. And the force of Nate falling onto the ice is going to break the ice in half, and then he's going to fall into the water. Also, Mike is trapped down there in a cave somewhere. We're not going to help him. That's not really my can of worms. You'll understand that reference if you play the game. Oh, okay. All right, Nate. It's time to actually climb this time. Like, no fucking around. Just like climb the damn hill already. Thank you. Now we're on to the final hazard of this game, so to speak. The final real hazard. The train. This will probably be the hardest climb you've ever... Okay. As I was saying, this climb will probably be the hardest thing you've ever climbed in your life. I'm gonna explain a few elements of this that make it difficult. Well, for one, at least two compartments of this train are very steep, are on a very steep incline, making it very like limited spots where you can place your feet. You can only place your feet in like little like corners or nooks where your character won't immediately fall if you place it there. And because the train is so cramped, the camera interferes with a lot of the geometry, making it hard to see where you're trying to place your feet. This part's very hard in particular because you sort of got to get up onto this black surface, and I sort of like I have my own way of doing that. Well, that just sort of worked out for me, but like usually it's luck based whenever I get up there. Sometimes you just gotta have your feet in the right place at the right time. Now you can stand on the steep slopes. You can sort of stand on the wood for a period of time, but eventually you'll start sliding down, and we don't want that to happen. Now I'd say this is the only real difficult part of the game. Everything else was annoying up to this point. I'll admit that, but like this is like where the real game begins. Oh fuck, because there at least here there is still a reality of falling all the way back to the beginning of the train, and if that happens, I may crash out. Nate can, a little factoid about Nate. He can actually balance on one foot really well, and you can sort of tell when he's starting to lose his balance. So yeah, just use that time. Don't spread Nate's legs out too far. But use that time to... Okay. Use that time when Nate's on one foot to just find that special spot and just hopefully make your way up there. Okay. Yeah. See, this is what I mean when the camera sort of like doesn't cooperate. Okay. Yeah. We don't want to sit on the couch, Nate. Not yet. We still got more walking to do. Just place your foot in there. Okay. It's a little awkward, but you can do it. Okay. Okay. He's sort of fixing it. Okay. Okay. Now it's important that when you fall, at least be grateful you didn't fall farther than if you would have fallen farther at the beginning. Man, I cannot construct that. I did not construct that sentence in the way that I wanted to say it. Feel free to quote that shit in the comments below. God, Nate. Fuck. Please, Nate, stop falling. Nate, please. Oh my god. Nate, I would have crashed the fuck out if you fell all the way back to the bottom. Here and then up here. Good job, Nate. Good job. Sometimes you gotta praise the guy. He does a lot for you. Nate gives and Nate takes away. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Okay. How the fuck did you do that, Nate? See, it's sort of like a dance. See, you got dance to continue. It's sort of like it's like an interpretive dance. You have to figure out which move you want to make next, and then make it. All right, we're almost there. We pretty much need to get to that ladder, and then we're pretty much good. Be sure to have your feet fully fucking planted on those ladder rungs, because if you slide from here, you are not going to be happy. Fun little tip: if you want to turn Nate around, you can sort of march in place, and he'll just turn in the direction that the camera is facing. Carefully meander your way around the valve. And now we're here. So that was the train. We just gotta figure out a way to get up that mountain. Because there's this last bit of mountain that's stopping you from progressing. And you sort of need to stutter step your way up it. You're gonna slide a little, but that's fine. It's all part of the risk. The risk and reward. Now see, Nate took a little bit of a tumble, but that's fine. If you ever see Nate take a tumble here, just think to yourself, hey, at least I got past the train. But we're gonna try it, and this actually worked. So yeah, that's one way to do it. I think there's sort of a natural entrance you can sort of find that doesn't require you to like step on something you're not supposed to step on. But yeah, that's essentially it. Once you get past that final layer of mountain, this is practically the end of the game. We just have to make one big long walk to the finish. I think the finish is this way. Although it doesn't really matter which direction I walk in at this point, because the map loops in on itself. So what can I talk about while I walk this seemingly endless field of snow? Have you guys seen those Magic the Gathering Spider-Man advertisements on YouTube? Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a Magic the Gathering guy myself, but I personally think those ads are kind of stupid. Oh, hey, I can see my shadow. I look like that fucking I look like the fucking Galaxy Hell trees from like those shadowy figures from Galaxy 2. If you know what I mean. Also, I'm just gonna take this moment to comment. Nate sort of looks like one of my physics teachers that I had in college. That's not an ish. That's not like an insult to the guy, but the red hair and the beard sort of matches his look. Anyway, about that Magic the Gathering Spider-Man ad. I think the ads are like corny and cringy and shit. Not only because the reactions look super fake, which I mean ads always do nowadays, but like especially for that one. But they also sing the Spider-Man song in the wrong key, which is especially cringe because if they have the rights to Spider-Man, and using him in your Magic the Gathering cards. Why sing his theme in the wrong key? Anyway, this is probably the most fun part of the game, where you can roll Nate down the mountain like a boulder. Go, go, fall down this part. Yeah. Get more spinal injuries. Man, imagine if there was a Hall of Meat mode for this game, where your goal was to break as many bones as you could. But yeah, once you make it to the bottom of the hole, all we gotta do is find the cabin. Just look for the trail, and eventually should make it to the cabin. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the game. As you can see in the credits, that's my red dot. That you can sort of see the path that I took to reach here. See, that's where I failed at the castle a couple of times, and then that was the part where I launched all the way to the castle, skipping everything. Oh man, it really just details the whole journey. And the credits are going really fast too. See there's that current with the mine shaft. There's the mine, the water wheel part. But anyway, if you guys like this video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Of course, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys probably next week, maybe, for another video. See you guys later.